Alright, so here we are. I'll do it this way. So, Saturday evening, about 8 o'clock, quarter past 8. We are out here. We got our garden all squared away, or widened. So instead of being about 10 or 15 feet by about 90, now it's 30 by 90. I'll turn this around, you can check it out. So, there's his garden. It's about roughly 30 by 90 or so. So we're going to get some fencing because we got a lot of deer. Over there we're going to plant some other stuff, but that's where we're at. So we've been pretty busy. Clint's been picking about a bucket of dandelions a night. They got a pretty good bumper crop of them. And see if you can see the closed up ones in the playground that they mowed 2 days ago. Billy Sue and Tristan mowed the lawn. Excuse me, yesterday and today. So I gotta re-spool my weed whacker so we can start cleaning that up. But he's been picking about a gallon of dandelions a day. So you can kind of see him here, maybe. But they mowed this on Wednesday or Thursday, and now this is all the dandelions that are up there. So, and there's the moon over there, almost full, and over there, pretty cool sunset. We're starting to get that way. So yeah, we've been busy. We didn't do anything last week because we were busy. So this will kind of be what we've been up to, and sit down and talk a little bit. Probably should have bought my retard selfie stick so it was better than this, but it is what it is. I'm gonna pause this for a minute and then decide go inside. There we go. It's recording again.
And we're back. Well, you're back.
So I got my rocking chair.
I have a rocking chair too.
So now that we're back inside, and hopefully that doesn't keep flashing like that.
It's because I'm rocking. Let me stop rocking.
Stop moving.
I'm sorry.
Jeez. The whole strobe light effect. See, you're making it twitch.
I can eliminate myself from the patio.
I don't know why I didn't do that when we were in the other thing. I don't know, you just have to deal with the strobe light effect. Which is weird. But anyway, we've been busy outside. It's nice out.
Very nice out.
It's in the, 70s today?
Mm-hmm. I think it was 77.
Allegedly, it's supposed to be like 80 next week, so we'll see if that really happens. They've been liming fields, planting corn, and spreading
Manure.
slurry.
Yeah, whatever.
That,
Liquid manure.
yeah. Man, don't that stuff stink.
Yeah.
But it's spring here. Spring is sprung, the leaves are starting to pop pretty good.
Yeah.
We got an abundance of dandelions.
Yeah, Clint has 4 quart jars of tea and a half a jar of dandelion tea. So he's going to be making more dandelion jelly. Well, his kinds of
Variations of dandelion jelly.
Yeah, he doesn't do straight up dandelion jelly. He does dandelion apple, dandelion raspberry. He did a dandelion cinnamon. That was really good. So
We got a bunch of stuff for the garden. We picked up some more today when we went to Rice Lake. Went to the Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Yeah, Fleet and Farm, whatever it is.
It's like Tractor Supply and Walmart had an illegitimate
No,
child.
it's more like a Home Depot. And
no, they don't sell lumber there. They got an auto tire and auto center.
More
They
like
sell
Lowe's. I mean, outside of
clothes.
not having, but outside of not having lumber.
More like Sears and Tractor Supply had a little bastard
Yeah.
child.
They got food, like there's a shopping area, like a grocery section.
And they got clothes and tractors and chicks and drugs and just about anything you could ever want you find in there. I didn't see a refrigerated section.
I don't know, we didn't go in the back.
They sell
We didn't even go out to the lawn garden section.
They sell crossbows.
But they had four-wheelers, side-by-sides, tractors, lawnmowers, rototillers, grills, chainsaws.
All kinds of lawn equipment, smaller tractor attachments.
Yeah.
Grills, smokers,
But they have
clothes,
a clothes section.
Footwear. They had like 3 aisles of canning stuff.
Yeah.
Seeds, electric fence parts, fencing, baby chicks.
I didn't see the chicks.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. We don't
Did
need
Sydney
those.
see the chicks?
No.
Oh. We did find out we can have chickens here. So, like, in town here, we can actually have chickens.
Not that we want chickens, but some people want chickens.
If
Me, not really.
But we can have them. So, might save some money on some...
Start selling eggs for, big bucks so we can retire early. You make more money selling eggs than you can selling pictures of your feet.
The people out here are great. We got to meet... So when did we meet the lady across the street that way? Was that Friday?
No,
Yesterday?
it was Wednesday because I had to go to...
But you had to go to work one more day, yeah. So Wednesday, we met...
old lady across the street.
Wicked nice. Today, we did, he was rototilling, and then we had some guy offer to just rototill
Rototill our
Clint's
garden with his tractor.
with his tractor. But while we were out there, neighbors from across the street that way came over, right over there.
Yeah, an older lady and a lady our age or so, give or take. So that's 3-4 more people in town that we met.
Yeah. Just everybody's nice.
We're an underground success here. We're like celebrities almost.
No, wait. Even also Friday was when we met the other people from down the road. Down that way, right?
Oh, yeah, when we were at the town office.
And the lady said, she goes, you must be our new neighbors, because I was told that our new neighbors had he had a stately beard. So his beard is more popular than technically we are in that sense. That's what I want to say, is that your beard is...
Yeah, we're pretty popular here, apparently. So almost celebrity status. Without the pay.
Abundant blessings. More than we know what to do with. That's what's coming. That was spoken over us, so. But if we're talking about Clint's garden, he's getting a bunch of stuff. He's getting 2 trays.
Flat to plants.
Yeah, 2 trays. Each one holds 8 flats. And each flat has 4 plants. So do the math and you can figure that part out. He's also getting 2 apple trees and as many grape plants as he wants. So that's kind of cool that, you know, he's got all that stuff. That's all from his gardening class.
Yep. So he can pick and choose what he wants to take too.
We're gonna do. So he went to the University of, was it UW where he went to get and got the potatoes?
Yeah, experimental potatoes.
So he got a bag of potatoes to plant. He's gonna get garlic and onions, hot peppers. Let's see,
Sweet
tomatoes,
peppers.
Yep, sweet peppers,
Tomato.
tomatoes. I don't know if he's getting cucumbers, but he's going to plant cucumbers, and then he chose butternut squash and acorn squash. He has pumpkin. Then there's, of course, cucumbers. He's planting different types of cucumbers. Just
And I picked up, 2 different kinds of corn today.
Corn.
Some sunflowers.
yeah, sunflowers. He can get like flowers from school as well, and herbs. And so he's going to find out what there is for herbs and flowers. He brought me home whatever that was.
Purple flower.
Purple, they're petunias. But no, a hanging basket, an outdoor hanging basket of petunias that are purple, because he chose the darkest, purplest ones, because that's my favorite color. So, Rev, don't knock it over. Go lie down. Go. Go. Go.
Anybody want a retarded dog?
He's just elderly. We took him to the vet, just so you all know. We took him to the vet, and they're like, oh, how old is he? And it's like, oh, he's going to be 8 this year. Oh, he's elderly. Or 9 this year. He's 8. He's going to be 9 this year. Oh, so he's an elderly dog. I guess so.
He's living up to that lately.
I guess so. I mean, he's big. He's like 55 pounds for his breed.
But we can't even walk around the neighborhood anymore because
He's too tired.
Can't take it. He gets about 3/4 of the way around, and we almost got to go get the car to pick him up and bring him home. So now I take Billy Sue for walks instead of the dog.
Wow.
And she does better. She can keep up the whole way.
Yes, we do.
And she's well trained, doesn't even need a leash.
I love you. Mama taught me if I don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Come on, that was a good one.
So what else is, I mean, we were busy last week. We were really busy last weekend because Clint got to do his first, technically, what was that?
He went to junior prom? Or
No, I was talking about, yeah, he did do that.
he went to prom last weekend.
And that was you asked him how it went. It was, No, I was talking about where he was able to sell, he did,
Oh yeah, he did fundraiser for
going to camp, and he was able to sell his jams and jellies, and he actually got approached by someone who has a place up north where they've got like this little store, and they bought 2 of everything he had so that they can display them in their store, give samples and whatnot, and hopefully want more of his stuff.
Yeah, there's a place up. I don't know if it's in Butternut or what, but there's.
I don't know where the place is. I don't know if it's in Butternut, but it's up towards Butternut.
But they'll basically make his stuff with the.
No, that place is in. It starts with an H.
I don't know. Either way, there's a place that these people take your recipe and what products you use, make your product so that you can sell it to stores.
Yeah.
Based on the types of cottage laws they have here in the state, if he wants to sell it in any type of store or anything, these people do that part of it.
And it's meant specifically for people getting started, people that don't have lots and lots of money to do.
To have a ridiculous kitchen, because here you can't register your kitchen like you could in New Hampshire. It can't be in your house.
home. Yeah, it can't be. So we can't register the kitchen here because the dogs can get to it, and so it wouldn't pass.
So these people basically have a contract and they make your stuff and label it. They make it the way you would.
Yep.
And
You get to, what they do is they do tester jars first. They make you a test batch. And then they send it to you and you try it, tell them, yes, this is right, no, there's something wrong with it. They'll tweak it until you get it right, and it's the perfect recipe. Then they'll can up a bunch of stuff and...
you can sell it. You can approach stores and sell it that way.
Yep. That's what it was. It was a store, technically. The guy is, Isaiah has a store that he goes and looks for people who are getting started to see if they will make more stuff. Like what he has made, he wanted all of it so that he could see if it was would sell or what would sell, and if it does well, then he will come back and be like, "This is what I can do. Can you make this for me? Can you make, you know?"
So it was
but he had someone that actually, I don't know if anyone has ever heard of Bigfoot barbecue sauce.
No, it's just up here.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that's. I was just looking at you to make sure that was the name of it. But he was the one, the guy who owns that was the one who is trying to help Clint get going. You should have seen Clint's biggest smile on his face. He was just so excited and like.
Yeah, because the kid like shows no emotion. You get kind of grunts out of him, and that's about it. So for him to be smiling and stuff is pretty good.
It's a big thing. So that was that was last Saturday. We were there from 9 to 3, and he went with 4 flats of stuff and came home with a flat and a half. So that was, he did very well. He was very happy. Becky's kind of disappointed him a little bit with the way people said things and how they treated him. So we wanted him to, we were just like, give him a little nudge because he really is good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want him to get discouraged that he's just like, I don't want to do this. I did it because it's fun. And you all know that when you enjoy doing something, it's harder. To do it as a job, you want to do it without it. You always want it to be fun. And that's what he wants. He wants it to stay something he enjoys and not something that becomes difficult and like outside of its enjoyment. Because who wants to... I mean, the world can provide that. The world can provide a job for you to be a slave at. And that's not what God created us for. God created us for so much more than just a 9 to 5 kill yourself job. We were not made, we're not supposed to, what is it, work to live, live to work. We're made for more than that. It's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to consume you just to survive. You have to be able to stand on God's word to go further, to do more. Because God wants so much more for you than, work your butt off, 40 hours a week to just not even be able to go on vacation and enjoy life. So.
Yeah, we picked up that wood splitter last weekend too.
That was a blessing. We were believing God for a wood splitter. You didn't say anything, you didn't share that yet, right? No.
I don't think so.
But we were believing God for a wood splitter, and he specifically wanted one that was like $1,500, $3,000 range, and the one you got was a $1,300.
No, it was more than that.
What was the one that you got? Sorry, I don't.
I think it was almost $2,000 brand new.
And
I think. I don't know. It was something on Amazon. I forget. But anyway, we picked up this wood splitter for $700 that
brand
was used to go through like 3 trees, and that was it. There's still paint on the beam that the splitter part slides on.
There's like no rust on it at all, and it's sat outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts first pull. It's a 30-ton one. It flips up to do the heavy ones that you can't pick up. So.
Yeah,
That was a blessing. We had to drive about an hour north to get it. While we were picking up our friend's trailer, there was a guy selling lawnmowers too, because I've been looking for just a cheap push mower to do the areas we can't get to with the
like
rider.
the dog yard, because the dog fence at the moment, we only have these 2 small areas to put the dogs out, because obviously we got here and it was November. So just enough to fence in an area for Rev and Evie, and
so
then
we don't have to walk them. We can throw them out and
Yeah.
stand there for a minute. But anyway, I picked up this lawnmower because there was none in here, and I wasn't really looking forward to driving, 2 hours to get a push mower.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to buy a new one because we don't need one that bad. But I was able to pick one up for $40. It fires up like on 2 poles. The guy tuned it all up, changed the plug, rebuilt the car, sharpened the blade. So that worked slick. And we saw that on the way to get to our friend's trailer. So that was cool. Another answered prayer, I suppose.
How much was that? That was cheap.
$40.
Yeah.
That runs better
Great.
than the other one we
Yeah.
had. So
God's moving.
now we're on the hunt for a bigger chainsaw.
And a lawnmower. I mowed the lawn yesterday. This is only the second time it's been mowed, right? You mowed it first.
Yeah.
So I mowed it. I got burnt on I wore something because it is sunny out, and I had a hat on. Something I didn't think of is, this is what I did the entire time. And I got this wonderful, literally I'm burnt right here, and that's it.
Top of her hands are
Top
burnt.
of my hands.
So she mowed probably half the yard yesterday.
Well, I did the open part. Tristan did the island and the small parts.
Yeah,
today.
so she did about maybe a little bit more than half. And then Tristan did the rest today, and it still took him a while because he had to do the bumpy part, and I told him it was going to suck.
Yeah, go slow. And trust me, I did the non-bumpy part, and I was still like, because it's still bumpy out there.
So we looked at new ones today while we were at that store, and there's some nice ones, but the prices are just stupid for 0-turn mowers. Or any mower that's, a 50-inch plus deck.
Although while we were there, we did see some really nice grills for cheap, and some really nice smokers for really cheap. So, just on the checklist with that. All right, God. God knows what we need. And we have things that will suffice, but if you want to continue, we need a larger mower. It's just how it is. It's almost
Our
2 full
equipment that we
acres.
came with is undersized for everything. The rototiller, the lawnmower.
Well, you have to think, no one's been out here, but this is almost 3 acres. Our full square block is almost 3 acres. It's like 2.97, something like that.
I thought it was 2 3/4.
No, it's 2.9 something.
So anyway, it's between 2 3/4 and 3 acres, and it's all grass.
Except for the 20,000 square foot school,
And the parking lot.
the parking lot, and then the little other little garage we have.
So there's about...
Everything else is grass, people.
There's probably close to 2 acres of grass, and give or take, and then what the town mows where the playground is probably close to 1/4 of an acre. And
So there is at least close to 2 acres of what we have to. I literally went out the front door and went that way, and then did the whole baseball field and around the garden, and it was about 3 hours, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
because you didn't go as fast as I did.
I couldn't go as fast as you.
And then Tristan mowed for another hour and a half plus today. So just a 36-inch deck just doesn't cut it.
It'll work.
It works.
But
It
really, you need a bigger one. Otherwise, you really are wasting an entire day. And if you got to do it once a week, which he did it last week, I did it again yesterday, and it
Did I
needed
do
to be
it
done.
last week?
You did it last week. You did it last Friday.
That's right.
So,
Yeah,
because then Friday or Saturday or Sunday afternoon, you did out there for the dog yard, and that needs to be mowed again.
Mm-hmm.
So, because you're just like, I got to do that tomorrow. You did it last Sunday too. So yeah, if you're going to do it every week, you're going to take a day to do it, to do everything. So
Yeah.
really, you need something bigger. We need, and God says He supplies all our needs. So we just stand on the fact that we have what we need. He'll supply. Just like out there with those guys rototilling, and some guy drives by and he's like, I could do that in like 30 minutes for you. And then just some random guy who lives up the road from us just offered to rototill the garden.
His old Ford tractor.
Yep.
Took him about a half hour.
He would not take money. We tried. And he was just like, no, keep your money. Welcome to the neighborhood. So people here are...
From the people we've met in town, everybody seems to be nice, and they tell us everybody in the neighborhood or in the village area is nice. So we're slowly meeting people. As it's nice out and we're doing stuff, people come over and talk to us.
Well, that was what I was told. I was told by I was at the town, and the lady had come in, and she was like, I was just waiting for you guys to be out there so I could just truck my little self over and talk to you. And everybody is very nice. And they're all very willing to give you information. Like, oh, this was this, and this was this. We met people who used to go to this school.
Yep.
Then we found out the school used to be 2 stories.
Yeah, I thought I told you that.
No.
It's up on the picture out on the monument, which the town mows around.
Yeah, we don't have to mow that either, around the monument.
So they mow and weed whack around all the playground equipment, like once a week or so. But the amount of dandelions that come out, I mean, I showed you a little bit in that video, but they're starting to close up.
I mowed
She mowed
yesterday, and there were more dandelions today than what I mowed yesterday. So all I did was make room for the new ones to come in.
There's fields you drive by and they're just yellow, like.
It really is pretty. Think about it. Like, I would rather just see these beautiful yellow fields with little stuff instead of these, goldenrod and all these,
crap.
puckers and briars and stuff like that. We did find out that we have black raspberries, red raspberries.
Blackberries.
We have blackberries. We have some weird, herb celery plant.
Yeah, that's.
It's very, very strong. You only need, a leaf. And, you can just pick a leaf and just kind of chew it and then spit it out in your mouth. It'll taste like you've eaten a celery. It does. It's what it tastes like. It tastes like celery.
We got a couple things of rhubarb starting to come
There
up.
are 3 patches of rhubarb out there.
Everybody else's is big and tall. Ours looks like it got run over with a lawnmower.
It probably did, in considering nobody took care of it for 2 years.
So I'll have to nurse that back to health because I like rhubarb.
Yeah.
And the girl I work with down the street has rhubarb too. So.
We found chive out there, so there's chive out there.
I'm sure as it gets warmer and more stuff comes up, we'll be able to figure out what we can recultivate.
There's a bunch of honeysuckle out there that we want to take and move because honeysuckle grows about 7 feet tall, but it grows wide, like 15, 20 feet. And there's nothing on any perimeters out here. We have two trees. That's it. Out here. Those 2 Norway pines. That's out there.
No, there's.
No. Oh, that's right. But I'm talking about out here. There's 2
There's
Norway
a Norway
pines.
pine and a white pine.
And then we have apple tree. Are there 3 apple trees? Or just 2? No, one's an apple tree. The other one's a cherry.
Yeah, there's a crab apple tree, some cherry tree on the corner. Then we got a maple tree, an apple tree, and a walnut tree.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's all we have for... So
there's some...
Yeah, in the...
Around the propane tanks, there's some alders and 2 white pines.
But in there is
which I'm gonna cut down most of that stuff. I'd limbed it up previously, but
we were in there today looking up because now there's actually leaves. So we were in there today, and it's like, okay, if we take this, we can transplant this. What we have in there, like honeysuckle and
the red
elderberry, are really great for your pollinators and butterflies. So and they're pretty because the one that's in there.
The car looks like a forsythia without all the yellow flowers.
It comes the low whatever that is, the honeysuckle that's in there, the one that I get to tartan or whatever, has got like purpley white flowers. So
we're gonna start transplanting that and planting trees around the perimeter of the property just to, make it look more inviting and build a wall so that we can just make it add our own touch of landscape to it. At some point, we'll see if we can get them stumps on the other street either ground up or dug up, and then plant something else there that won't get so high that they got to cut it down because of the power lines. And just kind of get some trees growing and maybe plant some here and there out, just to bring it back so it's not all field. Either that or we're going to get a plow and a disc harrow and plant.
We talked about that. Just, because we have these huge moss spots.
We could plow it under and plant corn and bring in the deer and the raccoons.
We're still waiting for the town deer to come in. We were talking to the ladies across the street, and I'm like, I'm still waiting for the deer to come in, and she goes, oh, they'll come in. Be careful, your garden might disappear. So we have to get some of that deer fencing that we're going to put around it. And now that we know how big the garden is,
I can kill you with my brain.
and once we know how big the garden is, what did you say it was again?
It's like 30 by 90.
So
give or take.
We can get a couple, whatever they're called, how long are they, 100-foot fencings?
Yeah, it's basically deer netting, but we had somebody tell us that works if you kind of weave some flagging through it so that surveyor's tape so that the deer can see it. And you got to put some on the flat and let the grass around it grow onto it, keep the bunnies out, because there's town bunnies here.
Yeah, we actually learned that one town bunny that we're like, wow, that's a black bunny. Where the heck did that come from? Actually,
he's an escapee.
Yeah, two winters ago,
yeah.
There was a windstorm.
Really bad storm, and this lady's bunny cage got busted up, and the bunnies broke free.
The bunnies went MIA.
So now there's town bunnies running around.
So, but
it's awesome out here if you like farmland.
There's people up the road who breed.
Yes, there's somebody around the street that has Flemish giants, I guess. So,
if we wanted to do,
if we wanted to get into meat bunnies again,
or if we just wanted to buy some
bunnies
and grow them and just do them out, we could do that too. So, we're just excited.
There's lots of opportunities for stuff.
Yeah.
The more people we meet, the more we're kind of getting out there and getting people's names and numbers for contacts to do stuff, trapping, hunting, foraging stuff. We did find out there's fiddleheads up here.
And ramps.
And wild ramps, and what were the other ones? I don't remember.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. Because I was like, what do you mean? They have mushrooms up here. There's a mushroom lady who lives in town. Right?
The girl I work with said she knows where, Chicken of the Woods grows.
No, the lady, the guy I was telling you about.
Yeah, she lives towards Ladysmith, but she still lives in town.
Still.
She cans a lot of stuff forges for stuff. They were telling me sometimes they do projects and people pay them in food. They had like canned bunny rabbit and canned other stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that.
He said something like pickled bunny. I was like, oh, all we did was debone them and run them through the grinder with bacon. He's like, that's a good idea.
I was thinking about it while he was here. I was like, I probably should have run up some, jelly to him and be like, hey,
Again, celebrity status. But there's people I talked to about trapping around, like, oh, you trap? Yeah. It's like, oh, let me know when you get your license. I'll tell people that you can do that, like our realtor. And then the guy that was here, I told him I trap. He's like, oh yeah, when you get me your number, and then, because I run into that stuff every once in a while. So.
Oh, the tractor guy?
Yep. So there's a lot of people, even some of the people I work with are like, oh, you trap? Oh, yeah. Oh, I used to do that back in the 80s when fur prices were good.
We met a lot of people at the, it wasn't a farmer's market, kind of sort of a craft fair, a business fair. Where was it? At Jen's. What's that? What would you call that? Where Clint sold all his...
Oh, it was just...
It really wasn't a craft fair. It was kind of like a small business fair.
I guess there was all kinds of stuff. It was more of a fundraiser for stuff than anything. But it was kind of like a craft fair. Just get your name out there stuff. And we met some people who, whatever that was, up in winter, they have a piece of property where they do trapping things, and they were interested in having Clint and I go up there.
That's on M. That's above M.
It's on W.
She just said up past M.
Yeah, it's up in W by winter.
But the estate is in Phillips. She has a business, or she has a ministry. Her ministry, they joined two ministries. One ministry was to help young pregnant women, pregnant ladies, and to be there, support them, and help them through the process. The other one had a housing for those that have gotten kicked out because they were pregnant, and they so they don't have to have an abortion and things like that. And these two different ministries joined together and are now working together at an estate, this amazing place that they are going to be able to house and help.
Instead of being right in downtown.
Yeah, and they'll have the rooms so these, ladies can have on the spot support and encouragement so that they're trying to show that A, God loves you, it's okay. You made a mistake, but there's not the end of the world. And B, there's another option to abortion. You're not sure you can do it alone. Great, you don't have to. That's why we're here. And I just thought that was the best. It was wonderful to talk with these ladies.
But whatever property they have up just north of us, they wanted to have Clint and I go.
Yes, because
And basically, she was interested in have us come and talk about the stuff that we do.
About teaching, encouraging young kids
to get into the woods.
To get into trapping and hunting and fishing. And it's all about God's creation. God created the world.
Ooh.
And that, wow, Tristan just walked in.
Lobster.
And he mowed, and he's
topless.
He's a lobster.
You're going to want to have Sydney put some stuff on you.
I told her that because she called me while I was in there.
So,
I was like, you're going to have to help me put aloe on because I could feel it under my shirt before I went and showered. I could feel it. I was like, either I'm burnt or it's the dirt and the grass and everything. And I went in there, I was like...
Probably both.
I was like, I'm burnt. And then I got out and I was like, I am burnt.
You don't want to come and show everybody your back?
Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. It does this.
So basically,
We've been having
we've been really,
things are moving.
yeah. And last week, choking, I inhaled my spit. So last weekend it was just so busy with everything. Last week, Clint and I did a lot of canning jams and jellies so that he would have them for Saturday. Then he had prom, and then Sunday we were busy. What did we do Sunday? Because we weren't home a lot on Sunday. What else did we do? It was late when we didn't go out to eat.
No, we went to church. I don't remember what else we did. You were tired.
Anyways,
It just didn't happen.
it didn't happen. We were just so busy doing so much stuff. But here we are now. There's nothing wrong. We're just busy. So,
And we're gonna get busier here, especially once we get ready to start putting the garden in.
yeah. So if we happen to miss a weekend, or it's just small little updates, that's why. Is that we may not be able to just sit down and do it. We might be too tired. We'll try. We'll try, but we're just forewarning you. Especially with just getting, once the garden's in, well, it shouldn't be as bad.
Yeah, a lot of prep work.
And then, of course, at least one day a week is going to be dedicated to having to do outdoor lawn care. We did find a place where we could buy some, like more apple trees and like blackberry or blueberry bushes and stuff like that.
All kinds of trees, and they're cheap money. You get 9-10 foot trees for like $120, $150.
Yeah, so
That was what, an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
I didn't know where, was it?
I think it's 2 hours away, but you can't beat the price for that. We haven't been to any of the other local nurseries to see if they can compete with those prices, but
There is one that has some, I'm not going to remember the name of the one that the ladies were telling us about today.
yeah, that's over headed towards Ladysmith. They got a lot of good plants, like garden vegetable plants and stuff. So
Well, she said outdoor
yeah,
perennials and stuff too. So, like gardening, landscaping type of deal. And we'd like to do that too.
just you gotta buy stuff that the deer ain't gonna eat, or we gotta start shooting deer.
We can get permits before anyone gets upset. We can get permits to shoot the deer that are the nuisance deer. Because according to
That's the rumor.
everyone in town, there becomes a herd of them on this property.
So the rumor is you can get a permit and take care of them.
Well, from what I can gather, people in town get permits to get them as well. It's not just us that we can get a permit, but that,
So we'd have to look more into that before we could start whacking Bambi.
Right. But, yeah. It's not like we're just going to go and rogue shooting things and blah, blah, blah. No, this is a...
Could be fun. You could shoot them right off the top of the building. Or you got an access port that goes into the building, so you get up on the roof and snipe them.
Well, as we were talking with Clint about it, we'll just put some corn out there and put them right into the garage. It'll be that easy.
Lure them into the building and then hit them with the car. You could drive around in the garage, so it's possible. Hit them with the car.
And they might freak out. They might hit the car. But we've been busy and still striving for, standing on God's word. He's moving. There's a lot.
We could inspect or insure the Jeep, and I can just hit a deer with it.
Oh, good Lord. They do know about the Jeep, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just the tires should still be good. That's probably the only thing worth money on it at the moment. A couple of the
So again, if anyone wants to come out and help, or just come out and visit, I mean, we always say if you want to come out and help, just let us know. You don't
Well, you
have
can
to
come
come out.
visit.
Yeah, you don't have to come out and help. You can come and visit. We do have at the moment, there is a place that we do have here that people can come and visit. We've got plenty of beds.
They're all stacked up in the hallway, but we got beds.
Yeah, we do. We have what? 2 queen beds, a king size bed, and a twin.
Well,
So
you can sleep
and
in,
a pull-out couch.
so you can sleep in the hallway and pretend you're in a nursing home or hospital emergency room. Sleep in the hallway. Dim lit and everything.
But yes, if you
Well, you probably unscrew the light bulbs a little bit so they kind of
would
flicker.
you stop? We have plenty of space for people to come and visit. If you want to come and visit, please reach out, to us. We're
Well, you probably fix it up so you could hook up your camper too.
yeah. If you have a camper and you wanted to come out, we have the ability to
Full hookup almost.
yeah, pretty much. Be able to do that. But if you don't have to come out and help do things, you are more than welcome to come out and visit. You just let us know so that we know. We're gonna make sure we're here. And
There's all kinds of places to go.
we have a lot out here that we can do.
Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame's in, what, an hour away?
Hayward, yeah.
You can go in that musky tower if you follow Tristan on Facebook. He put pictures of it up.
Yeah. And there's like huge, giant fiberglass fish out there. You could go around there. He said there's going to be 20 different ones.
Yeah, there's different ones you can stand next to, climb through. There's all kinds of cool stuff out here. You can see all the big tractors too.
Oh yeah, we passed. I got a picture of a really cool one earlier today. It literally takes up the road.
Yeah, one of them ones that's like 8 feet up off the ground. That they drive through.
Tristan's car could have driven underneath of it.
Yeah, between the tires.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of them ones they used to drive through and spray. So it's wide and way up off the ground. And then there's the ones with the 8 tires on them.
Yeah, the ones
that articulate in the middle, and they plow and plant like 50-foot wide swath of field at once.
No, there's a...
Farming's real out here.
Yeah. It's not done in hundreds of acres. It's done in thousands of acres.
And there's lots of cows.
Yep. Horses. We passed a turkey farm today on our way to Rice Lake, and I don't mean one building of
There was
turkeys.
like 6 or 8 buildings.
They were. It was like they were like this, and so the road's here, and it's like 1, 2,
parallel
3.
to the road.
So you're seeing, and we're seeing turkeys going.
The turkeys were just sitting there watching cars go by. A lot of cows. Not a lot of horses. There's only horses on J where the Amish people
Yep.
lived.
Just out here on 8, there's a farm that has sheep and goats. That horse farm we looked at.
Yeah, they got little baby sheep.
Little baby sheepies.
Some calves. I think they got a couple of goats.
They have goats. Yeah, because Sydney's like, there's baby goats out there. There's baby goats. I need to go see the baby goats.
But even just driving around, there's a lot of cool stuff to see.
You don't have to come out to help us do stuff. We appreciate it, but we're not. It's not a stipulation. If you're coming out here, you have to help us. No, if you want to come and visit, we would love to see you guys. And for those that don't know our actual address, in the sense of it's kind of hard to hide us. Everybody kind of knows who we are, so
Yeah, you're just driving into town. You can't miss it.
yeah.
Well, you can if you stay on 8 because we're off the main drag a little
Right,
bit.
so we're on Main Street in Hawkins.
It's the big
Wisconsin.
building.
So
There's no number, but
we're on Main Street in Hawkins, and
It's
trust
pretty
me.
obvious.
So, and I'm sure if you put our name, if you wanted to send us something with if you just put, Scott, Billy Sue Hale, Main Street, Hawkins, which, trust me, everybody knows who we are.
Or message us. Most of y'all have us or follow us on Facebook or the Insta. And some of you are even blessed enough to have our phone number.
Yeah, y'all who have you're special and we love you very much. Don't say it. You know, if you know Scott, he was going to say, well, most of you anyways.
See, now we're around Dr. Evil
That would be you.
with the cat. I just don't have a metal hand. So I could be Dr. Evil.
All I could think of is
That's who it was
Gargamel.
from Inspector Gadget.
oh, all I could think is Gargamel.
Oh,
Was it the Smurfs?
yes, but he doesn't like Asriel.
Yeah, but that's all I can think of. Like, that's what Doc reminds me of. Doc
He's
reminds
more
me
of like Dr. Evil. You can just pat him. Just need the middle hand. That was Inspector Gadget, right? Or was that one of the other ones?
I don't think
No, it wasn't Inspector Gadget. But anyway.
If you know, let us know. So you can all be like, you were wrong, Scott. This is what it is. Because we all love to tell Scott he's wrong things. Well, it's kind of...
You're going to have to get up and shut it off. I got the cat.
Put the cat on the floor. You don't want him on you half the time anyway.
I don't want him now. I'm hoping he'll get down by himself.
No, you have to pick him up and put him on the floor. So we love you guys, and you know, reach out to us, talk with us.
It's vacation time's coming.
Yep. So, and soon here we are working on a little message to share to everybody. You know, to share our. I know y'all loved listening to Scott talk to himself, but next time it'll be on. We'll be together. Maybe Tristan will be in. I don't know. But Scott gets messages and we talk about what he gets. 99%. So 99% of this lovely little video is all Scott. No, you don't like that? Well, before Scott falls asleep in his chair,
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
we'll say,
Or it's after 9 o'clock, actually.
just after, we'll say bye.
Oh, now I gotta get up and shut it off, because, you know.
Until next time, God bless. We love you.
Low
Bye.
budget.